Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new webinar series, What's New at American Ancestors. I'm Kathleen McKenzie, Events Manager here at American Ancestors New England Historic Genealogical Society, and I'll be moderating today's webinar. American Ancestors is a nonprofit organization supported by our members and donors. We provide resources and expertise in nearly all aspects of family history and are pleased to offer such programming for our members and friends around the world. This program today is brought to you by the Brew Family Learning Center. Today's webinar is presented by Claire Vail, our Vice President for Digital Strategy and Communications. Claire has 20 years of experience as a digital marketing and content strategist for high-profile institutions in higher education, publishing, and media. Before joining NEHGS, she was Director of Web Communications at Tufts University, where she oversaw the implementation of a large-scale website redesign. Claire has a master's degree in journalism from Northeastern University and a second master's in English literature from the University of Delaware with a concentration in 18th century British and American studies. American Ancestors is a national center for family history, heritage, and culture, and we're actively engaged in the creation of new searchable databases, digitized collections, scholarship, educational programming, and more. We are always working on new projects that share the stories of families and individuals from across the country and around the world. Today, Claire is going to highlight some of these latest happenings here at American Ancestors, and then we'll have time for questions at the end. At any point during the presentation, please type your questions in the Q&A panel at the bottom of your screen. There is no handout for this presentation, but we are recording this event, and starting tomorrow, you can easily go back and review any of the content from the presentation on our website. So if you missed something during the live session, don't worry, you can always review the presentation later. So I'm going to go ahead and bring Claire on here. And Claire, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thank you, Kathleen, for that wonderful introduction. I am going to share my screen. Give me 1 second here. And there we go. So you should be able to see the website. Kathleen, does that look good to you?
Yes, that looks great.
Great, fantastic. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me. It's a for the first really cold day in Boston, cold and rainy gray day. So I hope it's lovely where you are, wherever you are. So as Kathleen mentioned, I am going to cover what's new at American Ancestors. So this is going to be part web tutorial, light web tutorial through our navigation. And at the same time, I'll be calling out new content, new events, new programs that we have going on, and showing you where you can use the website navigation to find out what's new whenever, whenever you like. So whether you're a member, whether you're a paying member or a guest member, the website is a portal to all our programs and services, and there's plenty to see and do at americanancestors.org. So a little bit about who we are as an organization. We are the world's largest and oldest genealogical society. We're the second largest nonprofit dedicated to family history anywhere in the world, the first being Family Search as a nonprofit. Obviously, Ancestry is the biggest in the business, but they are for-profit. And then there's also Find My Past and My Heritage, which are for-profit. We've been around since 1845 when we were founded. We have been doing family history now for 176 years, this being our 176th year. And we've been publishing all our findings since that time. So you'll notice some of our publications, like the Register, for example, date back to 1847. So we have not only a wealth of experience given the staff that we have. So we have about 90 full-time people and then various part-time people. But we also can rest on the laurels of the folks who came before us. A lot of people assume that we only have New England resources. So we were founded as the New England Historic Genealogical Society, and certainly our purview was New England for a very, very long time. In the past 20 years, we've expanded quite a bit. We have resources from all over the world, so that includes databases and other printed materials and other digital materials. But we also offer quite a wealth of events and programming expertise that has to do with genealogical resources from all over the place. So if you're looking into your Portuguese ancestors or your Russian ancestors, you know, we can be of help for you. So just so you know, because a lot of people get confused when they hear New England Historic Genealogical Society, they obviously think New England and they think genealogy only. We're really expanding beyond those boundaries of our name. So you'll also hear the name American Ancestors. So think of NEHGS or New England Historic Genealogical Society as our parent name, and then American Ancestors as our global brand. We're the same thing. We're not owned by anybody else. We're an independent nonprofit. So our website is American Ancestors, and of course you'll see that name on materials that come out of the organization all the time. Okay, so as I said, I am going to be taking you through our website to show you where to find some of these resources. So the first thing I want to mention is there are 2 sales which end tomorrow, and you should be aware of both those sales. The first is a Black Friday sale in our bookstore. And I'm going to take a second and just stop my video so you can see the website. Okay, so the first sale is a Black Friday sale. It will end tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So it ends on tomorrow, and that's December 2nd. So you have till midnight to take advantage of the discounts. Kathleen's going to put the codes for these Black Friday discounts in the chat. So the deal is if you spend over $50 in our bookstore, you get 20% off your entire order. And if you spend over $100, you get 25% off your entire order. So 20% off $50, 25% off $100. So this is well timed for the holidays. And I do want to mention that if you do buy books in the bookstore and expect them to get to folks by the holidays, you should choose priority shipping to make sure that they do arrive in time. If you're so that's our Black Friday sale. The second sale I want to mention is for people who are not currently paying members of NEHGS. So if you haven't bought a membership, we still call you a guest member. But if you haven't given us money for a membership, we have a special offer. It's a Cyber Monday offer, but we've extended it just for the folks in this webinar. You'll get a $30 discount on any new membership. So right after this webinar, you should receive an email. We have your email address. We'll be emailing you to remind you of this offer. If you, for some reason, don't get that email, you can email my team at webmaster@NEHGS, and we'll make sure you do get that offer. One thing I want to note for next year is that we will be closing our building between March and December. So as you may or may not know, we're one of the only family history organizations to have a public space and a research library, the other being Family Search in Salt Lake City. So we allow anybody to come in and learn more about family history. If you're a non-member, you can pay $20. It's a day pass, and you can come in and use the research library. A lot of people come from all over the US and all over the world to sit in a beautiful space and do their genealogy and talk with our research experts. So we won't be open to the public between March and December because we are expanding into the building next to us. So we're at 99-101 Newbury Street. It's a fairly large building at the top of Newbury Street near the Public Gardens. We, long ago, at least a decade ago, purchased 97 Newbury Street, which is a building next to us, to allow us to expand. So we're growing all the time. We're growing our staff. We're growing our programming. We need more space. So a lot of the good news is this space will be dedicated to the public. So it will mean that we will have a larger space and more exciting things for the public to come in and experience. It'll be a catalyst for people interested in their family history, a catalyst meaning if you're only a little bit interested in your family history, we're going to get you more interested in your family history. And so we have big plans for that space, but we need to do a lot of construction on Newbury Street to allow that to happen. So that will take place the better part of next year. We're very, very excited about this. It should not affect anything that you avail yourself of online. So the website will continue to work as normal. Everyone will be working normally. All our services, programs, and events will continue as normal. So the only thing that would be affected is if you're planning a trip here in the summer, you won't be able to come into the building. So I want to talk a little bit about, and here I'm going to move to the website and start to use this navigation. I won't go too fast because it can be visually a little distracting. So I want to start with our books. And there's some new books that you should know about. So I'm going to come over here to the bookstore, which is, if you're signed into the website, it's just to the left of where your account is. So I'm going to click on the bookstore. We recently, within the last 4 or 5 months, redesigned the way the bookstore looks. So you're going to see that we've grouped our books into categories here. So I'm going to talk a bit about our latest releases, and I'm going to highlight 2 of these. And just a little background on our publications division. We're the only family history organization to have its own publishing imprint. So we have a fairly large department that is completely dedicated to publishing new scholarship in genealogy. We publish anywhere from 8 to 12 titles a year. Most of them are scholarly works that contribute to the field. You'll see them here in the bookstore. So almost all of our NEHGS titles are available for sale here. And you can find them here grouped by topic. So keep in mind that Black Friday sale. And if you have friends or family to buy for, this is a great place to look. You may have read Bill Griffith's first book, Stranger in My Genes. It was a runaway bestseller. A lot of people interested in genealogy have read this book. So that was 2016. In that book, Bill talked about learning through a DNA test that his father, the man he always assumed was his father, and the man who raised him was not, in fact, his biological father. So this is the sequel to that book here called Strangers No More. So in this book, Bill talks about his newly discovered biological family, and he shares some of the stories strangers and friends told him about their own shocking DNA discoveries. And we've done quite a few webinars on DNA and surprise finds once those DNA tests come out, and that's always quite interesting. So Bill talks about closely guarded family secrets. This is a real page turner. It's a great book. The first book was great. So if you read that first book, I would definitely recommend picking this one up as well. The next book I want to talk about is this Tree of Life book here. And I had the pleasure of seeing this hot off the press when it came into the building. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's full of illustrations. At least half the pages in this book are gorgeous illustrations. So if you're familiar with what family registers are, that's what this book contains. So this is called Fruits of the Tree of Life, New Discoveries by Peter Bennis. And just to give you a background of the book, between 85 and 1825, Americans were starting to document their familial relationships. So this is colonial and post-colonial for the most part. So these are artistic renditions of family trees, essentially. And they're watercolors, they're embroideries, and they're just gorgeous. So many of these were made by school kids. You've probably seen a lot of these types of things in antique stores where there's samplers, where you have a 9-year-old girl, creating her family tree. So this this book really celebrates the craftsmanship and the beauty of New England genealogical family registers. And I highly recommend that as well. It's a small book, but it's just lovely. Okay, so I'm going to come back to the main website, and let me just move here. So I want to talk a little bit about the magazine, and if you come over to the right-hand side of the website, you'll see publications is the first tab. So this is, all of our publications are centered under this tab. There's the magazine, there's the register, which of course, if you're a member, you get both of these publications. The register is what I mentioned, we've been publishing since 1847. The magazine we've been publishing for decades. And the magazine is not only a great thing to get on a 4 times a year, full color issues, but it's also a great research resource. So the magazine contains a lot of valuable information about various topics. And we often, when we publish an issue, we often center that issue around one particular topic. So for example, German genealogy was a recent issue topic. But we've also done Scottish genealogy or women in your family and other various themes. So if you are a member, you have access, you get the magazine in print, of course, but you also have access to all the past issues of that magazine. So we frequently get the question, where can I find this? So this is a members only archive. If you're not a member, you won't see this. But it's under publications, and then you click on magazine, and then you scroll down a bit and you'll see the archive of all the past issues here. So you can click on these download PDF buttons and you'll get the entire contents of all the magazine. So you can see from the covers what some of the themes here, Great Migration, New England Pirates, organizing your genealogical research, our Catholic Records Project, Cape Cod, so forth and so on. So I would really recommend taking a look at this and exploring past issues if you haven't already. There's also a database version of our magazine. So everything, since we've been publishing the magazine, we've been digitizing all those issues and making a database out of all the content in every issue. So you can search by keyword, you can search by author, you can search by article title, volume number. So you can digest this valuable content in 3 ways. So as a print publication, as an online archive, and then also as a database. Same thing with the register. So just want to make sure that you know that this is where to find that information. So I want to talk about another service we offer that may or may not be on your radar, but very, very valuable. Let me see if I can just move this out of the way here, down to the bottom. Okay. So this is live chat, and you can access this from our homepage. You can also access this from, let's see here, our expert help menu. So we have, at this point, we have 50 people in the building who are full-time researchers, and they take turns working on this live chat service. So we're one of the few institutions that offers this. You'll see sometimes libraries with a genealogical branch or department will offer a chat service. I think Ancestry has done it from time to time. As far as I know, we are the only ones with a dedicated live chat service staffed by real experts. These are the same experts that if you came to us and you hired us for research services, these are the same folks that you would get. So I want to talk a little bit about what kind of questions you can ask when you're on live chat. And first of all, live chat is free for anybody and open to anybody, so non-members and members alike. You can access live chat Tuesday, 9 to 5, Wednesday, 9 to 8 p.m., and then Thursday through Saturday, 9 to 5 p.m. These are all Eastern times. So you can see here, we've expanded our hours. We try to limit the sessions to 15 minutes a person, but we can, so in that way we can serve as many people as possible. It's best if you do a little bit of research to understand how to narrow your questions so you get the most out of that 15 minutes. So good questions to ask tend to be how to use a particular website or resource. And none of this has to have anything to do with American ancestors. You can ask about any resource anywhere in the world. And chances are, if it's related to genealogy, we'll know something about that. You can answer local history questions. You can ask about defining an unfamiliar term or a term you've seen in a record, maybe a census record or a probate record, for example. So a good question to ask might be something like, I'm researching my Civil War ancestors from Massachusetts. What record sources and archives do you recommend that I start looking at? And then you'll get 15 minutes of expert time for free. So now I want to move over and talk about events, because in the last 3 years, we've expanded our events offerings. So if you've been with us a while, you've known that we've always done free webinars. And our webinars are typically an hour-long deep dive into a specific topic. So in the past few years, timed with COVID, we have greatly expanded the number of online seminars, lectures, and other kind of online engagements that you can avail yourself of. So most of these are free. Some of them have a cost to them, but it's a relatively low cost for what you get. We also launched a website several years. Our new website is now 2 years old, but with our new website, we built an events calendar. So I'm going to talk about how to navigate that to find all of these events. So if you come, again, I went to events and then I clicked on go to events, or you can look at view upcoming events and you'll get to where I am now, which is the calendar. So if you want to see the different categories for events, here they are under event type, and you can sort the calendar by what you're interested in. So author events tend mostly to be our American Inspiration series. So we have New York Times bestsellers, generally writing books about American prominent figures in American life. So those could be biographies, it could be nonfiction. And we have, we've been doing this program now for close to 3 years, and quite an impressive array of authors. We have family history benefit dinners. So these are fundraisers for us, but usually feature a pretty prominent guest. We have, from time to time, we have conferences. We have heritage tours, and you may be familiar with Kurt DiCamillo and his knowledge of English country houses. We also go to Italy and other places around Europe, and we do a few domestic tours as well. So these tend to be our highest priced events, and you'll pay to go abroad and spend 7 days wining and dining, in beautiful English country homes, and that they're wonderful and very, very popular, and they sell out fast. Lectures are webinars. So, this is where if I click this, we're going to go to a page. I'll just go here and you'll see this is where we are now with what's new, but there's many, many other free programs that you can take and sign up for. Research tours are generally multi-day, sometimes one day, but multi-day tours, mostly domestic, occasionally abroad, where it's hands-on genealogical research with experts. So you're bringing your materials, your research, you're going to archives, you're going to libraries, and there's someone who understands genealogy who's able to help you understand how to use that archive or library and answer your specific research questions. So these are very, very popular and very valuable if you're currently engaged in research. Seminars are multi-day courses, and they also tend to be deep dives into genealogical subjects. So here you'll see that we're headed to New York City, and the first class has already taken place on November 30th, but there's several more classes coming up. The next one is in January, and that's DNA in practice. So these are taught by experienced genealogists who know the subject matter very deeply. And the value of these courses is that you're getting a lot of material. So you're getting all the course material, you're getting live interaction with the instructors. So they're virtual, but you're able to ask questions of the instructors in real time. So, highly recommend these. Some question that, a question that pops up now and then is if one of the dates has already passed, can I still sign up for the course? The answer is yes. You can sign up until the very last day of the course if you like. Now, something interesting to note about these courses is that we've recently started offering these courses after the fact. So we archive these courses. You get the full recordings of each of the classes. You get all the materials, and you get to have all that material permanently. You can access all that material permanently. And the way you would find that here is courses on demand. So the archived versions of these live courses, we're calling courses on demand. And those are available 6 months after the last date of the live course. So the only thing you don't get if you take the course on demand is you don't get that live interaction with the instructor, but you do get everything else. So that's new. I just wanted to point that out. Let's take a look very quickly at all the upcoming events. So here, I'm going to scroll down here, and you can see kind of the broad array of themes that we deal with. So New York City Research, we have an upcoming free webinar on family recipes with Judy Lucy, and that should be fascinating. She is our archivist, and so she dug into our special collections archives and found all kinds of fascinating family recipes. So these webinars are a lot of fun and very educational. Kurt DiCamillo is taking folks he's there now, I think it's to Shropshire for an English country Christmas. So that tour is sold out now, but there's many more of the similar tours to come. So here's an American Inspiration event, Paul Fisher with the Grand Affair, and this is about John Singer Sargent and his work, obviously famous painter. We have a very interesting event on how to make the most out of searching the US federal census. So this is an on-demand course, and you can purchase this till December 31st. We have a virtual genealogical skills boot camp coming up. So this is a 3-day intensive program that's going to teach you the best tips and tricks for your family history, and that's in January. So I won't go through all of these, but you can see we have more events: French Canadian ancestry, tracing ancestors on the move. So if you come, where to find these is, again, come to events and click on upcoming events or go to events. You'll see we've highlighted 2 here, but you'll land on the calendar. You can use this navigation over on the right-hand side to select the type of event, or if you don't select anything, you're going to see everything. You can toggle between online only or free, because we do have, increasingly now that COVID's over, we have a lot of in-person programming coming back. And you can also search by keyword. So, if I type French here, I'm going to get my French Canadian ancestors. So you can also select a date if you know that you're going to be here on a particular date, and you want to see what's in person. You can select that date. And so that allows you to filter by calendar date. Okay, let me talk a little bit about the video library. So I talked about our webinars, our free webinars. We frequently get the question, hey, I love this webinar, I love the topic, but I am working or I can't attend this webinar. Is there any way to see it? And the answer is always yes. We archive almost everything we do, and we offer that for free to you in our video library. So unless it's a paid course, in which case it becomes a course on demand after it's offered, it is here in our video library and accessible with a guest or member account or paying member account. So you have to make sure you're logged in to see it. But if you go to the video library, you'll see all the archived webinars. And again, you can search by keyword, or you can filter by the type of video that it is. So these are the different categories of videos. So even the author series, the videos and the interviews with the best-selling authors are archived here. So you never have to miss anything, which is wonderful. Okay, I'm going to talk a bit about what's new under search. So if you come over to the far left-hand side of our site, you'll see the first tab there is search. We have multiple content repositories that you can search, starting with our databases. So of course, most members who join for access to 1.4 billion names. So these are the databases that we create, and we scan, we index, and upload these to our website. So we have a big operation here at NEHGS that does this all the time. We also have, and not enough people know about these, I think, we also negotiate with external data providers in the same way that big libraries do, to allow members to have access to various content repositories. So let me go here for a second. I'm going to come back to what's new in our own databases, but I want to talk a little bit about this. So external databases from home, we call these external databases because they're not our databases. They're databases out in the universe. We've paid the licensing fee, and our members benefit from this. So you do have to be a paying member to access these, but you do get quite a lot. So I think of this as really quite a significant membership benefit, along with the magazine, along with the register, and along with access to a lot of other materials. One of the recent, we change these all the time. So the head of our library services division is always looking out there for new databases we can bring to you. And if you have suggestions, we're happy to take those as well. But one of the recent ones that she has negotiated is called AM Explorer, and this is Adam Matthew Digital. So this is all kinds of content from the 15th through the 21st century, colonial America, American Indian cultures, Central Asia, you can see here Afghanistan, African American communities. but also things like 18th century London life. So this may take a while as I've clicked on this. So you'll see here, I can get in a little further. So you can search right from here, but if I go to collections, it's going to show me the pretty impressive array of topics that you can search here. So, these are collections that people have put together, that this Adam Matthews company has put together, that you can keyword search, you can author search these various sources. So you'll see American Indian newspapers, so 200 years of indigenous journalism, for example. One of my favorites is further down here. So early modern England is a topic I happen to be interested in, along with 18th century drama. So, you're getting a lot of broadsides and published journal articles through these resources. Really, really fascinating stuff. Now, what you're going to see with all of these databases is that since they are created by different external providers, they're going to have very individual and different search mechanisms. So you can't expect to have one universal search interface for all of these. They all have their own. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, just like you're in a library and you're accessing all their collections there. But I highly encourage you to take a look. You can see it really varies, and we bring new ones online all the time. And sometimes our contracts with current ones will expire. The contract might run 2 years. If it's incredibly popular and you want to see that back, don't hesitate to contact us and tell us that you really enjoyed it, because we can always attempt to renegotiate that. So the more of these we can bring to you, the better. It's quite a resource. So again, that's under search and external databases. So let me go back to our own databases here. And so you're familiar with this, I'm sure, if you've used our website. So this is our search interface. And you also can access an A to Z list of all our databases. So I want to update you on new collections and new volumes we've added. We add new material to our database collection all the time. We are constantly negotiating with new organizations that give us their data, and then we scan and digitize that data and create a database that you see here. So I want to talk about the recent databases we've added. In our Westfield, Massachusetts collection, we've added baptisms performed in the Church of Christ from 1679 to 1836. So that database is now complete. We recently added a Canadian headstones database. So, and the specific, that specifically deals with cemetery heritage records of Canada. We have Wyeth funeral service records from 1904 to 1964 from Cambridge, Massachusetts. That database is now complete. For new volumes, we've added updates to the genealogist, to New England families. There's been 2 new sketches added to New England families, and there have been 10 new sketches added to early Vermont settlers. We're in the process of adding upcoming collections or new collections. So you'll see these roll out over the next 6 months to a year. And those include Providence, Rhode Island, records for the Old Stone Bank. We have a database with the Jewish Heritage Center. We have new probate file papers for Suffolk, Massachusetts. We have Boston Parish Cemetery records for Massachusetts. Shaker records of the Fruitlands Museum from Dartmouth. school records from 1846 to 1902 from Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And we, as you may know, are working on completing the genealogist journal database. So we're now, or we will be completing that database through volume 30. So I want to talk about one other resource under the search menu, and you can see you have access to our library catalog, and you of course have access to the Jewish Heritage Center, but I want to call out the digital library and archive. So you may or may not be familiar with our digital collections. You know that we have an on-site research library. Lots of folks give us their family history materials. We take those materials, we curate them, we catalog them, and they become part of, and then we digitize them, and they become part of what you see here. So whether you are a paying member or a guest member, doesn't matter. You can access the material that's in the digital library archive. So we just, as of today, added a new collection. That's the Theodore Roosevelt Family Papers collection that was donated to us by the Theodore Roosevelt Association. So we're in the process of announcing that at the moment. But it's worth it to take a look through here. This collection is divided into two major parts. That's the R. Stanton Avery collection and the Weiner Family Jewish Heritage Center collection. So you can do a keyword search here, or you can head into advanced search and see all the different breakdown of the categories of materials here, and then do use these search fields to drill down. So coming back to the website, I want to talk about a few more new things. Oh, let me touch on one more item underneath the search menu. So it's still relatively new, and we encourage people to use it. And this is our search topic, search content by topic offering here. So you can think of this as site search, but what this does, site search wasn't as robust in previous iterations of the website. It's now quite robust. So when you search all content by topic, you're searching all the content repositories we offer. So you're searching digital collections and archives, which I just talked about. You're searching our bookstore. You're searching our database descriptions. So not actual record searching. For that, you need to go back up to search and go to, the actual A to Z search or advanced search. But here you're searching database descriptions. So for example, if you want to know that how many databases we have about Massachusetts, and you do a search here, those will come up along with quite a few other items. So let me just do a quick search. We also call this federated search because it's literally federating all of our content repositories. So you'll see my search results here show me that we have 12,000 items, more or less, that mention Massachusetts and the JHC collection, 48 titles in the bookstore. This search also searches our satellite websites. So when we have a special project, we build a website about it, like Mayflower 2020, Ancestor Strong, GU2 72 Memory Project. So a keyword search is looking at all those content repositories. And then you can see where your results are located is further called out in this right-hand area here. So you can see that this is the name of this material. And in this case, it looks like it is a database. Yep, you can see here, it says database. And if I scroll down, at some point I'll get past the databases and get into magazine articles and other items. You can also filter here on the side, so you can drill down even further to what you're looking for. So I call that out pretty much in every webinar I do because it's still relatively new, and it's a highly valuable place to find things, and a great place, frankly, to start on the website. to figure out what we have on a given topic. Okay, so one of our recent initiatives, which is we've been at work on for 3 years, is our new K-12 curriculum. So if you're an educator or if you know someone who's a teacher, this is a free resource, completely free. It's a very extensive curriculum. So this is not a lesson plan like you've probably seen before where it asks kids to draw a family tree or get a photograph of their ancestors and paste it onto a family tree. This is a very extensive set of lesson plans, highly structured, created by a teacher who is now on staff. Anyone can download all the lesson plans for free. There's lots of customizable handouts and activities. We're also supporting the implementation of this in classrooms with training programs. So any teacher, any at-home educator can schedule free trainings with Dustin Axe, our youth education curriculum coordinator, and he will talk to individual teachers about what they want to accomplish, and trade ideas with them about how to do just that. So if you click here, you'll see more about the curriculum. So we've had close to 5,000 downloads so far of this curriculum. It's been quite popular, and we are continuing to get the word out about this. So please help us in that endeavor. You can join our mailing list and get more information about it. But please pass on the word to any teachers that you do know. And I also want to touch on another new item that we have. So our membership team has created a help section. So if there's a couple ways to access this, but if you come under About Us, right near the login in the upper right, and you go to Help Center, you can now get specific documents that explain a lot of the frequently asked questions that we get from members. So if you're having any issues with resetting your password, if you have questions about hiring a researcher, what areas can you research, for example, you can just click on these and you'll get, whoops, sorry, you'll get, we'll fix that if it's broken, of course, but you'll get access to deep dives into this information. You can also get help, of course, just by logging on to the site, and you may have seen at the beginning here, over here, a chat window will pop up and you can get access to our live membership team and they'll answer any question you have. So I'll close by talking about ways to keep in touch with us. So everything that I've covered in this webinar, there are ways to get information about all of this kind of new information on a regular basis. So the best way to do that is to subscribe to the Weekly Genealogist. So we moved platforms for the Weekly Genealogist a couple years ago, and in the process, some people told us that they were no longer receiving it. If you have not received it, or you're having issues receiving it, please email us. You can email webmaster@nehgs.org and we will figure out how to make sure you do receive it. There are laws against us opting you in without your permission, and anyone else for that matter, opting you into any kind of email newsletter. So we strictly abide by that. But if you reach out to us, we'll make sure that you do get it. So what this is a newsletter that tells you a lot of what I've covered, the type of things that I've covered, the latest events, new resources, new features on the website. And this comes every Wednesday, comes out every Wednesday. We have a survey question, which is quite popular, but it's a good way to stay abreast of what's going on at the organization. It's free. You don't have to, it won't subscribe you to anything else automatically. It only subscribes you to this email newsletter. You can also access an archive of all the past newsletters. So if you saw an item that you want to find again, you can, and you know roughly what date it was, you can scroll through these. So there's the weekly genealogist. Other ways to keep in touch with us. I went over the new volumes and the new databases that we've added. If you want that information real time in your email box, and this is not a marketing vehicle, this is strictly whenever our database team uploads a new volume or a new collection, we publish that news. So this is American Ancestors Database News. If you want to get notified real time about new additions to content, to database content, just go here, put your email in this box and hit subscribe, and you'll get notified. So that's simple. And that's been a very popular addition. So that's new database alerts down at the bottom of the publications menu. And also the weekly genealogist. You can also go to the homepage here of publications and see all of this information. So one more way to keep in touch with us or see what's going on here is to take a look at our Vita Brevis blog. So we publish at least 2, sometimes 3 new entries every week, new posts in our blog. It's written by all of us and some of the folks in our universe. So this is a good way of understanding what we find interesting and what we're passionate about in our day-to-day professional lives, and sometimes in our personal lives. So it can also be a great genealogical resource. You can find out about new sources that you didn't know about. And it's extremely entertaining, I have to say, particularly some of the recent entries by the research services staff have been really wonderful. We find a lot of reporters pick up stories from Vita Brevis. It's like best kept secrets in a way, even though it's a public blog of the genealogical field. So I think that about wraps things up. I am happy to take questions. I'll just add one more reminder about the Black Friday's sale and also the Cyber Monday sale, and I will come back on video and take any questions you have.
Great. Thank you so much, Claire. That covered a lot of great information, and we've had some great questions coming in here. So this first question from Madeline, I'm actually happy to answer myself as a member of our education and programming team here at NEHGS. So Madeline wanted to know, she took a class through NEHGS, and she wasn't sure how to access the resources and course recordings from that class. So Madeline, you can find the past recordings under your My Account section of the website. Under the My Account menu, you'll see a section there labeled Digital Content, and it should be located there. If you're not seeing it there, do contact us at education@nehgs.org, and we'll be happy to get that sorted out for you, but it should be located there. And I see Claire is demonstrating that here. Perfect. So then Claire, this next question is for you. So Marianne is wondering, besides the age of the register in the magazine, I know you mentioned the register was started in 1847 and the magazine has been going on for a few decades now. Besides that, what is the main difference between the content of the register and the content of the magazine?
Great question. So the Register is really an academic journal. So what you're going to find in the Register, I wish more people asked this question. It's a great question. The Register is, and I can actually show you if these come up fast enough. You're going to see not narratives. You're going to see actual compiled genealogies So it'll have names and dates for specific families or individuals. So let me see if I can pull up an issue, latest issue. This can take a little while. So what people tell us is the register is fantastic if there happens to be content about a person or a family you're researching. If not, it's not particularly useful to you. The magazine is, what you have on your coffee table. You open up the magazine, you peruse the magazine, and can read narrative form articles, just like the Smithsonian magazine. And all right, let me take a look and see if I can answer this a little more fully. So picture's worth 1,000 words here. So you can see in more recent years, the register, they've started adding more of a narrative form. If you go back to the early years, it's very hardcore genealogy where it's names and dates and kind of lists of ancestry. You'll see here, this is more typical, just kind of genealogical summaries. So if again, like if you're really into a particular person or family, now you can search the database version of the register by an individual's name and see whether since 1847 there's been something written about that particular person. So that might be the best way to go about looking through the register archives. The magazine is has articles about research methodology, but the majority of the magazine articles are telling a story, an entertaining story. So a non-genealogist could pick up American Ancestors magazine and have a great time with it. And we see that pretty frequently as, oh, wow, this is really fascinating. So all kinds of topics, but the register is really much more of a serious scholarly journal. Hope that helps.
Great. Thank you so much, Claire. Now this would be a great thing you could demonstrate on the screen. Susan said that she was very excited to hear that we have a searchable database for the register, and she was hoping that you could demonstrate how to search that database.
Oh boy. All right, let's see. So this is something I should say that it's not complete. So let me do this let me take a few more questions while I'm looking through, because this is going to take a bit to demonstrate. So if you want to just throw me a couple more questions.
Sure. So let's see here. So we also had a question about accessing our Boston Research Library. Jim is wondering if membership is required to come to the library. And if he came to the library, would he be able to access these sections of our website that we've seen today, the databases and everything like that?
Oh, sure. You don't need to, obviously. I mean, you can access the website from home. But if you you mean coming literally to
Um,
Boston?
Jim was wondering, as a non-member, if you're able to visit the library. So we do have a $20 day fee for non-members. If you'd like to come in for the day and kind of try us out, and you would be able to access all of our databases here in the library. And then, of course, you can join as a member as well. And then you'd get free access to our library here in Boston, and you'd be able to access all of our online resources from home. So I hope that answers that for you, Jim.
I see what you mean. Sorry to misunderstand that. Yes, you can, obviously, but it's what Kathleen said. You can also access our partner, institutional partner websites. So if you don't have an Ancestry account you can access Ancestry, you can access our other institutional partners, Find My Past, in the building.
Yes, good point, Claire. Um,
So
all right.
I can answer the register question now. Sorry. So I just went, if you want to go to A to Z list of databases, I'll do this one more time. And then you can either go to R or just type in register here, and it will pop up here, New England Historical and Genealogical Register. And then let's search for an Adams. And there we go. So we're in the process of continuing to digitize volumes of the register. I don't know quite where we are with that, but it's going to take a lot more time, I know, to complete the entire collection. So I can take a look here. So here we are, volumes 1 through 174 have been digitized. So we're continuing to work on this project. It's a big project, but at least you can search 1 through 74 now and 2.2 million names.
Great, thank you so much. Um, let's see here. So here's a question that I know you kind of touched on this at the beginning, but we have a question here about whether or not we're just New England resources or if we have more than just New England. So maybe you could show us, I was thinking maybe the databases A to Z. Yep, perfect. Just to kind
So
of drive that point home.
yes, so you can see here, if you come to, and again, I went to search A to Z list of all databases, which is exactly what it sounds like. So this will list all the databases, and just so you know, you as a paying member, you have access to every single database, of course. As a guest member, you do get access to a portion of the databases. I think it's around 40 out of 492. So, but you can see we have databases with, burial records, marriage records, and other kinds of records from all over the globe. So Costa Rica, Caribbean, Barbados, Guatemala, Denmark, not in every single country in the world. I think there's 262 countries in the world, but quite a few. So we'll come to Costa Rica here. So deaths, baptisms, marriages. I'll look at a couple other of the countries, but certainly around the world. And that's not the only content repository that has information from other countries. So there are, like, for example, if you look at our webinars, if you go to the video archive and you look at our archived webinars, and I would just try typing in a country name and see what we have. So you would think, looking, if you think of New England Historic Genealogical Society, you could imagine that, oh, it's all going to be Mayflower and Cape Cod and New England, and we're so much broader than that. So database is just one place to look. The other place to look is that federated search function, this content by topic search here. So that's another way to look kind of at the breadth of what we have. So let's say you're looking for France. You're going to find any databases we have, any other articles we've written in past magazines. Here, we have speeches. This is an entry into our Ancestor Strong gallery. There's just a wealth of information here. So I would say content by topic, the database list, and another way to look for other things that we have. Well, really, content by topic is the best, but you could look at past events and videos in the video library if you want to look at these repositories separately. But content by topic should pull up past webinars and every other piece of content we have about a topic.
Great. Thank you so much, Claire. And I think we have time for just one more question here. This is kind of in the same vein, but specifically about the register. So I know you talked a bit about the difference between the register and the magazine. For the register, is that just focused on New England, or might there be articles about, other locations as well?
I think occasionally there are articles of it. It is mainly New England, but I think occasionally there might be. Best way to prove that point is to do a keyword search in the database version and see. But it is I'm pretty fairly certain it's mostly, let's say, 95% New England.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Claire, for that great presentation. Definitely covered all of the happenings that we have going on here at NEHDS, American Ancestors. Definitely a lot going on. So let me see here. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen to wrap up here today. All right, so if you do have any questions about anything covered in today's webinar, you can contact us at education@nehgs.org, or you can also chat with our member services team using the chat window on our homepage. If you have specific questions about your family history research, you may consider scheduling a consultation or hiring our research services team. You can also chat with our genealogists for free online, Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 5 Eastern Time, with extended hours on Wednesday evenings from 9 to 8 p.m. This service is open to everybody and can be accessed at americanancestors.org/chat. Thank you again for joining us. You will have an opportunity to fill out a survey and give us your feedback on today's webinar. As we continue to expand our webinars and online offerings, any feedback is very helpful and appreciated. This free webinar was made possible by the generous support of members and friends around the world. Please consider making a gift to American Ancestors to help keep these programs free and to create more. If you'd like to access more how-to resources or learn about upcoming online educational programs, please visit our online learning center at americanancestors.org/education. Thank you again, and I hope to see you at our online programs in the future. Goodbye for now.